Hello again. This is going to be a slow, long video, and it's a snow video because this is our first snow of the season in 2025. It was right after the full cold moon, and what this is all about is my first snow in the tent in the backyard that we pitched. So this year, I've just been trying to find ways to enjoy myself at home more, and any little whim that I feel, I go ahead and try to just say yes to, and I do it. So we pitched a tent in the backyard so that I could moon gaze on full moons, which I did do on the cold moon and the beaver full moon. But I do that usually anyway. It's just that it was cool to be able to lay down on some quilts under some blankets with a pillow and my journal and, kind of have that privacy. But I really wanted to experience snow in the tent, so this is what that day was all about. This is the first snow, and we got 6 inches, and I just packed a little suitcase, which you can see me doing right here, that I was trying to show you, that the wording, that's a crow call with peanuts, so that I can feed crows and call them if I want to when I'm out there. We're trying to befriend them. So far, we've gotten them to come to us, but we haven't gotten them to eat the peanuts. And then I had a book and a journal with a book light on it. Those big red heavy things are microwavable rice-filled pillowcases, and you heat them up and they store heat for about an hour. And so they're super hot. There's a blanket in there and snacks. And I had my little chai tea, and I don't think I'm going to talk much through this. This is me finally all packed up, bundled up, and heading out to the backyard tent. So it's really just a lot of slow crunching as I walk, and scenery, and time in the tent, journaling, writing letters to my nieces, or trying to, and reading and listening to an audiobook, which you'll hear a clip of. My husband also has a cameo in it, so I'll probably come in and talk again at the end. But until then, I guess just sit back and enjoy, or turn away if this sounds like a terrible time to you. Okay. See you at the end. charger.
That night marked the start of their relationship. Fumiko had been asleep for a while now. Suddenly, the woman in the dress slammed shut the book she was reading and sighed. After pulling out a white handkerchief from her handbag, she slowly stood up and began walking towards the toilet. Still asleep, Fumiko hadn't noticed that she had left. Kazu appeared from the back room. She was still wearing her uniform, a white shirt, black bow tie, waistcoat, black trousers, and an apron. While she was clearing the table, she called out to Fumiko. "Madam! Madam!" "What? Yes?" Fumiko sat bolt upright in surprise. She blinked her eyes and looked around the cafe until finally, just as she was showing signs of falling apart, Kazu appeared next to her carrying a silver tray upon which was a silver kettle and a white coffee cup. "I haven't gone back yet," Fumiko blurted out. Kazu's expression was deadpan as always. "There is one more rule," she said coolly. Damn, there was another one. It would take more than simply sitting in the chair. Fumiko was beginning to get fed up. "There are still more rules?" she said, yet at the same time, she felt relieved. It meant that going back to the past was still on the cards. Kazu continued her explanation without showing the slightest interest in how Fumiko was.
I'm stepping in it. Okay. As rough, clumsy, and public as getting out of that tent was, I still wanted to go back out there for more time. So my chai tea had gotten cold, and so had my microwavable heat pads. So I heated those up, and then my husband was nice enough to carry the super heavy heat pads and the chai tea out for me. And this video is where I realized I need to clean the top of that greenhouse. You're wearing shorts. You can just set that down right there on that. And welcome back to the disembodied voiceover. The video's almost over. It's just about 30 minutes long. And at this point in my day out in the tent in the snow, my fingers had been out for quite a long time. This is me showing you those microwavable heat pads. They're starting to get cold. And I didn't end up finishing the letters for my nieces out here. But I do end up going inside right after this and making some pumpkin sausage soup with broccoli in it. But it was a really good day. I had a really good time. My favorite part every time is listening to audiobooks because you can keep your fingers tucked under the blanket and keep them warm. But I also like journaling out there a lot just because, it's like a really good place to think and get insight and be introspective, and just staring out there at nature, it's just perfect time to journal. So I always take that opportunity, and just listening to the snow hitting the tent was everything I thought it would be. It was just super peaceful out there, and the only thing I didn't really do that I had planned to do was write my first installment for a series of 12 letters I was going to send my nieces. But that wasn't really about the snow. That was more about not knowing quite how I wanted to organize them yet. But as you can see here, the day wore on to evening, and I ended up figuring out how I wanted to organize it and writing an introductory letter, which is what you see here in this video. And I went ahead and sent that first, and that sort of like organized it all for me. So all the other letters have just been flowing out every couple of days in this certain sort of format. So that ended up being a lot of fun, and I'm enjoying writing the letters to them. And I enjoyed the snow in the tent, and I plan to do it maybe one more time if we get some more snow before I pick the tent up, because I don't want to leave the tent out for too long. But yeah, I can recommend highly spending some time in a tent in the snow outside.